All right, folks, I'm back. Another exciting episode of Morphy's Games of Chess. In the first round, we saw Morphy take out Thompson 3 straight. He's got a streak going, baby. All right, so now who's his opponent? Who's the hero got to go up against? The Judge A.B. Meek. Holy smokes, hold on to your hats, folks. I can't wait to see the verdict of this one. All right, the Judge has the white pieces. He kicks it off e4. Morphy answers e5. Any surprise? A king-pawn game. All right, the knights come out. Now, in round one, we saw Thompson bring the bishop to c4. Good square, aiming at the black king side. But here, Meek challenges Morphy with bishop b5. The Ruy Lopez opening. All right, folks, very popular in modern times, okay? Considered the strongest move for white at move 3 in a king-pawn game, all right? So what's the common move here for black? There's all different moves, but the most common one is you put the question to that bishop right away. What are you going to do there, wise guy? All right, you hit him with a6. All right, so I know a lot of you sharp tactical players out there are figuring right off the bat, hey, do I win a pawn? Look at this. No, folks. If it was that simple, would a6 even be considered a move for black? Come on, let's dummy up. All right, the queen comes to d4, forking the e5 knight and the e4 pawn. All right, the knight goes to safety. Boom, you get your pawn back. All right, simple enough. Check. All right, so if the white queen blocks, whatever you want to do. You want to take, you don't want to take, you want to pull your queen back, let him take you, what you develop in a piece at least. You could go either way, folks. Doesn't matter if the queens come off or not. Let's look at this. Let's look at this position. All right. So you see those C pawns are doubled. Black has doubled C pawns. He's got the B pawn to help him out, right? So, I mean, what does he have in compensation for those double pawns, folks? He's got the bishop pair, all right? And as you can see, the E pawns are gone. It's going to be an open game. Bishops love the open board. All right. Black's doing fine. No problemo, okay? I figured I'd just cover that just so you might be wondering. Now, when you take back, folks, when he takes your knight, you got to take back with the D pawn. So you open the D file for the queen, see? So now it could go to D4. All right, no problem, all right? Here's a couple of little opening tips there. Don't get nervous. Don't get nervous, all right? Now this move, A6, get a load of this. Guess who's attributed to that move, folks? None other than yours truly, Paul Morphy. Come on, from long ago. What's the date of this game? Let me pull out the book, folks. I got it right in my hand. Morphy's Games of Chess, right? Right in my hands, right here. Let's look it up. Let's look up the date. Just the facts. Just the facts, ma'am. Game 4, right? Round 2, October 15th, 1857. Holy smokes. Over 150 years ago, folks. Paul Morphy whipped this one up into practice, huh? It's lasted all these years, So just think about that, the strength of that move. Every grandmaster under the sun in modern day is still playing that one, huh? How about that? Now, believe it or not, Morphy didn't do that, though, this game. No, he hit him with something else. Now, maybe he didn't develop this A6 yet, Maybe he didn't work it up in the woodshed. Maybe he didn't experiment with it in the laboratory, you know what I'm saying? All right. So what does Morphy do here at move 3? All right, I'll show you. He develops a piece. Come on, kids, get them pieces out into battle. All right. Good move, solid move. I make that any day of the week, all right? Attacking white's E4 pawn. All right, here we go, folks. What does Meek do? All right, Meek defends the pawn with D3. Simple enough, right? Oh, not quite, folks. All right, let me break this one down. A little opening theory. I know this could be exhausting, all right? But it's worth mentioning. It's going to bring a lot of knowledge to the game. I think it's going to open up a lot of clarity here. All right, here we go. D3, right? Let me go right to the book again, folks. All right, I ain't making it up. All right, here we go. D3, right? This move, a favorite with Anderson. All right, if you don't know who Anderson was, they're referring to the unofficial world champion at the time, Adolf Anderson, the great Austrian master of attack, all right? He blew everyone away. Okay, so anyway, what are we talking about? All right, let's get back to it. This move, a favorite with Anderson, is one which divides the critics. Some who consider that it gives the most enduring attack, while others hold that it is against the spirit of the Rui Lopez, which calls for, whoa, I hit the wrong button, baby. All right, here we go. Calls for pawn to D4. All right, hitting that black center. Okay, why is this? All right, look, folks, the game of chess, right? Here you go, D4. Posing questions to black. All right, you're posing questions to black. Do I take? Oh, boy, then he pushes this guy, you know. Oh, maybe I don't want to take. Maybe I defend. Oh, no, but now my knight's hanging, pinned, I should say. It's pinned, and he hits it with the pawn. Oh, wait a minute, I got this one. Oh, he could back off. Now maybe if I pull this one, well, maybe he goes ahead and takes. Oh, no, look at my A pawns are doubled. Oh, boy, I don't want to go into that, right? Don't want to do that. What if he takes here? Maybe then I take back, and oh, no, now he trades queens. And then he takes this guy, and then does he win my e-pawn? And now he's threatening to win the exchange. Knight takes f7 check. Oh, do I take, maybe, let's see, right here, look at this. Maybe I take this way. Maybe I take this guy. What was in my move? Where am I? Right? Maybe I take this one right here, right? All these questions, folks, all these questions crop up. All right, just by this little move, D4. He's hitting the center, he's posing questions, all right? Black's he's got to figure it out, okay? Look at this. D3, right? What questions does Black have to answer, huh? All right, he defended his own e-pawn, all right? No big deal, he's not really pressuring me at all. All right, and this is Morphy's philosophy. Look at this. With white moving D3, right? He considers it passive, right? What does Morphy say here? Because when Morphy had the white pieces, okay, in a few times, I don't know how many, but a handful of times it says here in the book, when Morphy played this and he had this position for white, because he didn't play the Lopez often. When he did have this as white, he hit with D4. He hit him with D4, all right? So what do you think of that? The man of the hour thinks D4 is the move, okay? Why? Because with D4, it restrains Black from developing the kingside bishop here, the king bishop, to C5. Very aggressive square aiming at the enemy king down there, the enemy white king, right? He can't do that right now. The D pawn's covering that square for the time being, for this move, right? So it restrains Black a little bit and it poses questions, get it? All right, it's a lot more to handle for Black. You'll see this often. White throws D4 at Black in a king-pawn game, all right? Very violent games here. That's the spirit of these king-pawn games. A lot of violence, ripping open lines right from the get-go. You got to get your pieces out, all right? Very dangerous. Okay, so look at this. So now, here you go. Meek plays D3, right? Okay. So what do you think Morphy's move is now? Move forward. What do you think he throws? Throws out on the board, huh? Bishop to C5, of course. Developing this bishop aggressively, aiming at the white king, like we said. See this? Now get a load of this. Morphy considers this equal for Black already. Equal and move 4. Come on, folks. Let's get with it. Wake up. Wake up. I know I'm yapping already. It's only move 4 and I'm already yapping away. But don't you get it, folks? Very important to understand this concept. White has the first move. He has the first move, right? So usually he dictates the game. He threw it away, folks. By move 4, he threw it away. Black's equal already. All right? You're Black and you got this. Oh, boy, you got a chance to win, and it's only move 4. You're equal already. Forget it. All right, so look. Okay, all right, I'm yapping away. And if this is true, I'm sure you might be posing the question, right? You might be thinking, wait a minute. Then back in the day, like I read the quotes, right, from the book, folks, all right, this move, a favorite with Anderson, is one which divides the critics. It divides the critics. Some would say D4 was the move. Some would say D3. Now, if I'm giving you all the benefits of D4 and why actually in modern times now we'll see D4, right? It's a more common move now, more aggressive, right? Then why would they even consider D3, huh? Why would they even, back then, why was the other half thinking D3 was the move, huh? Like I said, folks, the Austrian master of attack, the unofficial world champion, Adolf Anderson, right? He was blowing people away with D3. What are you gonna do? You're gonna doubt the champ at the time, huh? As he blows people off the board, as he makes the newspapers. He was famous, folks. Oh boy, Anderson was something else, throwing every piece into the attack, right? He'll throw all the wood on the fire, folks, and then he'll checkmate you with just 2 pawns. Unbelievable stuff. All right, beautiful, a real artistic chess player, right? Real artistry, poetry, emotion, folks, like I say, right? No wonder why they call it the romantic period. You see Anderson's games, folks, you can't help but fall in love. You get it? You can't help but fall in love with this game of chess. That's why it's the romantic period. All right, enough of me yapping. Okay, here we go. D3 by Meek, simple enough. D3. All right, it's a game. Let's go. All right, again, like I say, Morphy, boom, bishop c5, good diagonal right there, lively bishop. He's going to be very influential in this game. All right, good move by Morphy. All right, here we go. What's Thompson's reply? All right, c3, look at this. We saw it in round 1, folks. Thompson played the c3 move, getting ready to push d4. It's added pawn support to the center, right? For instance, if castles, he's got this. Maybe not right away, but I'm just showing you. C3 supports D4. See that? That's the idea. You're building the center. You're taking control of the center, folks. I said it in the other games. You're trying to control that center. It's a fight, folks. It's a fight for the territory on the battlefield. You see? They're fighting for the upper hand. They're trying to get control of that center. All right. C3. Understand it. That's what it's doing. Supporting the D4 pawn push. All right, so now, here we go. What do we do now? What does Morphy do? Well, let me go over a couple of things that Morphy doesn't do, all right? The critics say, Adolf Anderson, boom, won many fine games with castles, okay? And is less cramping than what Morphy does. All right, anyway, makes sense, folks. Look at your army, right? You want coordination with your pieces as you're developing them, right? All right, you got the dark square bishop out already, okay? So now maybe you do, where you're going to put your light square bishop, right? You got the 2 knights out, you got your dark square bishop. All right, you got the other minor pieces. Where are you going to put them? You got to figure where you're going to put them. Maybe I'll put them on B7, right? Maybe I hit that button again, folks. I apologize. All right, here we go, this one. All right, now maybe I push D6, bring the bishop out on this diagonal here, the H3, C8 diagonal, right? Post them up somewhere on there. I don't really know, right? How about castles, folks? Well, I know if I castle, I put my king like this, the rook comes over, boom. I'm castled, I want to do it. I got my 2 king side pieces out. Let me castle and rip open the center and get to that king, that enemy king, right? This was Anderson's philosophy. Attack, 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 folks. He proved it over and over. He destroyed people. All right. That's the type of game Anderson loved. All right. That's why he made the newspapers. Beautiful, beautiful. Attack that enemy. All right. Every move was designed to get at the king. All right. That was the romantic period. It was all about the king hunt, folks. All about destroying the enemy monarch. All right. We evolved a little bit from then. All right, a lot more strategy, positional things, developing your piece, all this and that, all little strategy, who has the better minor piece, the end game theories and all that, this and that, blah, 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 blah. All right, anyway, okay, here we go. I'm yapping away. All right, so now the other move, the critics give this one. The critics say queen to E7's a move, right? Not bad, not bad. I'll tell you, here's what they're looking at, all right? Let's say the pawn push comes, just for instance, right? Hitting that bishop on C5. All right, we take the pawn, right? He takes back. Now he's got that pawn duo, right? The pawn duo, but boom, one of them goes. Goodbye. See? You got the check, too. The queen check taken with check. Now, look, here you go. Instant replay, folks. See, you're clearing, as you take this pawn, you're clearing the e-file. See? And now when he takes back, now the queen, boom, takes the pawn with check. All right, you get something like this. Let's say you get something like this. He blocks, you get the check, right? He blocks it with the knight. You could swing your knight up, put pressure on that c3 knight. All right, no problem. He protects there. Takes this way, you take this one, he takes that one. You take this way, you know. Maybe you push the pawn, you get ready to bring that bishop out. Look, folks, black has no weaknesses, and he's up a pawn, all right? Not doing bad. This could be good for black. I mean, what does white have in the compensation for that pawn that he gave up? He's a little developed. He's got an extra piece out. It's white's move. Let's say he castles. He's got the open F-file for the rook, all right? That rook's got some good scope down the F-file, all right? So even though he's down a pawn, he's got some good piece action, and he's slightly ahead in develop. Is it enough, folks? I don't know. It depends on who's playing, right? How strong is each player? What are they doing, right? Who's playing? Am I black playing Kasparov? All right, so I'm lost. All right, what could I say? Does Carlson have the black pieces against me with the white? All right, black's going to win, right? So it's a game, folks. It's a game. All right? All right, so anyway, at this stage, let's go back, okay? Because I want to show you something interesting. With this. All right? A common move for white in the Lopez, right, is let's say, okay, let's do this again. Queen to e7. He pushes the pawn, right? I take. All right, instead of taking here, let's say he just castles. Gets out of dodge, folks. All right? Common move in the Lopez. You castle quick and you leave your e4 pawn hanging. Right? All right, so let's say we take it, huh? Dummy up. Look, you just lost the game, folks. Your queen's pinned to the king, right? Game over. All right? You lost your queen. Okay. Now, that's pretty obvious, right? Let's say you take with the knight. Could be playable, all right? Let's leave it at that. I mean, we could be here forever, right? We could be here forever. Is it playable? Does he win it? Doesn't win it? I mean, look, if he goes after him and you take this guy, you open the diagonal for your dark square bishop there, the king bishop now. All right, he takes, look, boom. You're piling up on F2, all right? He moves, you take. Now you won the rook. You won the exchange, all right? All right, big deal. He takes it to queen. You can even move it back, folks. Trade queens, who cares? Queen for queen, right? You're up the exchange. You could put, maybe you push this guy. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. The knight takes. All right. Anyway, folks, I didn't even look at this, you know? I'll tell you, you have to dissect this a whole other game, you know? Maybe it's playable. I mean, they give, the book says queen e7, and that's it. You know, they don't go into anything. But I just wanted to show you could get into trouble grabbing this pawn. And then again, maybe you don't, you know? You look into it yourself. But I'll tell you what you shouldn't do. Look, this is why I bring it up. Let's say you're figuring, all right, let me open my diagonal for that king bishop there, right? He castles, he castles, and you say, whatever. And you take here, right? And he develops a piece taken back. All right, so now white gave up a pawn. It's like a gambit, folks. All right, he gambited a pawn to get ahead in development, right? So now you're like, all right, I'm kind of falling behind. Let me castle, right? You figure castle. It's a solid move, right? And here, lo and behold, look at this. Here comes the pin. All right? And now you say, I don't like that pin there. That's pretty bad. I don't like it. Let me put the question to this bishop, right? You put the question to the bishop, and lo and behold, you see this? I'm not saying that these are the best moves for black. I'm just saying you make some sensible moves, right? And look at the trouble you fall into, folks. Boom! Knight to d5, right? Attacking that queen on e7. And now, obvious, let's dummy up. Come on, you can't take like this and even try to be fancy. You can take back with the knight, right? Because you only get 2 minor pieces for your queen. Come on. The queen's worth 3 minor pieces, folks. Come on, let's do the math. Come on, let's get in shape here. Come on, what are we talking about? All right, so the knight comes flying in, right? You can't do anything. You got to move your queen, right? All right, let's just say you go here. Now you bust up the king side pawns. Look at this. This is so ugly, folks. So ugly. The open G file. Look at these pawns. They're all weak. The two F pawns are doubled. That king's exposed. Oh, boy. Not only that, folks, did you see this one coming in? Knight C7. Right? Forking the queen and the A8 rook. Come on. Come on. You can't play chess like this. You know what happened to you, folks? You know what happened? You got Morphy. Don't you get it? This is my point. You're trying to do this to your opponents. You know what? Your opponent's doing it to you. You understand? We want to give up the pawn and get the quick development, leading development. Pieces to good squares, going on the attack. You got the initiative. You see, he's backpedaling. He's backpedaling. You want your opponent getting knocked around the ring, putting his pieces on awkward squares, getting cramped, right? Boom, boom. You got the combination and the game's over. That's what you want, folks. You don't want this to happen to you. You want to do this to your opponents, all right? This is my point. So my point, again, don't start just grabbing pawns. You understand? You get falling behind in development. This is our style. This is Morphy style. This is Anderson style. You get it? They get the initiative, folks, and they tear you apart because you're behind in development. You're grabbing those measly pawns. Come on. All right, anyway. That's Queen C7. Those are my little thoughts, all right? It's playable. Don't get me wrong. It's a whole other game, right? Whole other game. Just wanted to guide you not to fall into those silly traps of falling behind, grabbing pawns. All right. All right, all right, all right. Here we go. Bishop C5. Meek with the C3 move. All right, what did your champ do? What did the man himself, the man of the hour? D6. All right, sensible move. He's getting ready to bring the queen bishop out on that diagonal. All right. All right, okay. Now let's get back to the notes here because you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh at, I'm going to knock your pants off. Look at this. Watch this one. Knock your pants right off. Look at this now. Here they go. Right in the book, folks, the old masters, they give it a question mark. They give it a question mark. Do you understand? D6, they call it a question mark. That's saying it's a wrong move, folks. Look at this. Incorrect, they write. Because white could have continued. D4. Pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. Bishop to B4 check. King over with the superior game. Holy smokes, with the superior game. Oh, boy. I flipped my wig, folks. I was like, what are we talking about? Superior game. Huh? King to F1. If you don't know the rules of chess, folks, let me give you this little rule, all right? Once you move your king, you can't castle anymore. You lost your castling privileges, all right? So in this position, white's going to have to castle by hand. That's the terminology, all right? I'm not making it up. He's got to castle by hand. What does this mean? All right, let's just throw some moves on the board. Don't even analyze these, all right? Just so I can demonstrate. All right, let's say black castles. All right, here you go. You push the pawn to G3, okay? Creating a little escape square for the king. All right, there you go. Let's say the bishop develops, all right? Then the king moves into the hole, right? And then I don't know, you bring this one here. All right, now you could swing your rook into the game. You see how it works? That's castling by hand, right? It's not as quick as boom, castles. King over and the rook goes on the other side, right? Real convenient, real quick, right? He's got a castle by hand, 3 moves, okay? While he's doing that, let's say you have some weaknesses, you tidy up, you develop your pieces, you catch up in development, you do what you got to do to strengthen your position, right? While he's castling by hand, 3 moves. Come on, folks. I'm looking at this, I'm going, wait a minute now, wait a minute. How could this be a superior position for white? Come on, what's going on? I mean, I'm not saying black's winning even. I'm just saying, is he losing? I don't know. Okay. So I go to the woodshed, folks. All right, I boot up Shredder. I said, let's fight it out, Shredder. Come on, let's see what you got. All right, now here's even his suggestion. What's the best move for black here, okay? And let's take it from there. He comes up with the wait, what did I do? Let's get the moves back. Okay. Oh, okay, he didn't castle yet. All right, here we go. He comes up with D5, okay? Strike it in the center, posing questions to white now, all right? Okay, let's look at him. Right off the bat, let's just say, this is ridiculous, okay? Because the queen comes up, nice strength position here. It's strongly placed. The queen's in the center of the board, all right? And there's no threats. I mean, come on, you want to hit him? I'll just take him right out, right off the bat, no problem. I don't have to waste time moving my queen, right? Okay, simple enough, okay? And if you look, Shredder didn't even consider this move, all right? It's just too obvious. It gives white. There's no problem here, right? No problem. He develops a piece. He takes back, and he's going to castle, right? So the move, you strike in the center. The move for white, all right, is e5, okay? So now the question is for black, all right, he's attacking my knight. Where's the knight going to go, right? Let's say the first, wait, and before we get into this one, let's do the obvious, right, folks? The obvious. All right. You might be saying d5. I want the pawn, right? Let me get this pawn over here. Take that e4 pawn. Almost forgot this silly line, all right? So silly, I almost forgot it. All right, because look, maybe there's some sense to this, right, folks? The rook, because white can't castle now, the rook on h1 can't slide over and pin it to the king, right? The queen could try to pin it, but it doesn't work the same when you could just unpin it with your own queen, right? It's not a rook on the e-file. If whatever occurs, right? Whatever, I don't know, just throw a wasted move. So now I could move my queen. I'm not scared of trading queens, right? I'm not scared of trading queens. No big deal. There's nothing to fear there with a queen pin, okay? So the rook pin's another story, but obviously it's not possible now, right? So you figure, let me go in and grab that pawn, right? All right, let's get to it. Look at this. Watch this one now. First, you're going to hit him like this with the bishop, right? Bishop takes. Bishop takes, knight, check. Okay, you got to take back, right? Now the queen swings to a4, right? Queen swings to a4, attacking that bishop on b4. Now that the knight on c6 is gone, folks, that bishop's hanging. Dangling in the wind, all right? All right, so say you try to protect it, okay? All right, big deal. What, he gets this pawn? All right, you're ready to risk it. Who cares, right? But, folks, did you see this one? Boom. You take with check. Okay, develop, block that check, and you lose this guy over here, okay? All right, simple enough. All right, so you saved your b4 bishop, but you just lost the knight on e4, right? Grabbing that pawn on e4 is not so simple, is it, folks? All right? Not so simple. All right, so again, the best move. Come on, let's get to it. d5. He hits the knight on f6 with his e5 push. All right. So let's go to this one first. The knight comes back, okay? The move here for white is queen to b3, attacking the d5 pawn, right? All right, so what's the big deal here? Big whoop-de-doo, right? Let's say your castles, whatever, just to show you. There's two threats, folks. One threat is this. Boom, you take the knight again, and you take the bishop hanging. See? No different like as before, okay? So the bishop's threatened, right? So let's say you save the bishop, okay? And as you can see, like I mentioned, you hang the pawn. You lose the d-pawn. Come on! A center pawn. Lasker said the center pawns are a little bit more valuable than the wing pawns. Why? Because they're center pawns, folks, and they control the center. The center's where it's at. You control the center, you what, folks? You control the game, right? Okay. So you don't want to do this, and look, even if you, what do you think? You're going to get some play on the queen, get a little piece action? Come on. The queen goes to safety, okay? And you're going to boot that knight on b4. You're going to boot him out of there. He's got nowhere to go, folks, right? For instance, if you castle, where's he going to go, folks? Where's he going to go? Over here? Come on, ugly. Boom, boom, boom. You just lost your rook, too. Look at this. You lost your rook. Come on, you can't do this. You can't do this. All right, so anyway, let's go back, okay? That's just a nonsense line. That's a little joke, right? A little joke in there. I mean, come on. If you go over here now, is that any better? You lose this pawn now. You're just losing pawns. And, you know, okay, look, if the black pieces were in more aggressive places, maybe it wouldn't be so great to be grabbing pawns, right? But in this scenario, he's all tied up. He's all tied up. He's got to get his pieces to more aggressive squares. Come on. He's not ready to attack white like this. All right? So, grabbing that pawn, it means, white could get away with it. Look, white's got the, look at this. In this position, right? Look at this. White's up 2 pawns now, right? 5-7. And 2 of those pawns are in the center, folks, to controlling the board. White's got the space advantage. The only thing he has that's a disadvantage is the placement of that king. He's got a castle by hand, right? All right. Even if you don't want to go in for the other pawn, you just leave it as weak doubled queen side pawns. Come on. This is a no-brainer. This is easy for white, okay? Let's say he doesn't even castles. Let's say he takes something like this. He tries to create the escape square d5 for that knight. All right, so you pull your bishop back, right? And then let's say, whatever, you castle. I mean, it's a million moves away, right? All this stuff could go on, all different. Like this, you'd lose another pawn, right? Creating that. Just looking at it now, maybe black wouldn't castle. Maybe he would try to secure that d5 square with this, attacking the bishop. Maybe, it's a whole other game. Maybe it's not so bad after all, because then the bishop moves, right? Whatever, look, I didn't analyze all this. All right, go here, right? You go there, big deal. All right, now the knight, let's see, a castle, the knight wants to come in, blah, blah, blah. I'm going on and on. Hey, how about I threaten mate over there? Who knows? You get your pieces out or whatever. Folks, it's a whole other game, you understand? It's a whole other game. Excuse me if I'm missing something because I didn't even look this far, all right? The bottom line, white grabs a pawn. He grabs a center pawn from you, and you really have no compensation for it, in my opinion, all right? So there you go. That's the knight coming back, right? Knight coming back to d7. You end up losing this d5 pawn, right? From here, who knows where it goes, right? From here, who knows? I say white's winning, okay? It's a whole other game. All right, but anyway, look at this now. Watch this. Pawn comes up, right? All right. How about this one, folks? You charge forward with the cavalry. Come on, knight. Posted on e4. Aggressive move, right? Jumping into the enemy territory. All right. He's protected by that d5 pawn. He's up into enemy territory. Could be a little shaky. Who knows? More aggressive move, right? Now the move for white slightly changes. Queen to a4. Not queen to b3, right? Because you can see that the queen, black's queen, protects the d5 pawn, right? Okay. So now you swing the queen to a4. All right, watch this now. Look, again, folks, do we have to repeat it? Boom, boom, boom. You lost the bishop again, all right? So this is what's being threatened. In all these lines, this is the theme. Get it, folks? This is the theme. That bishop on b4 is a little shaky, all right? So white's whipping up some advantage with that. He's playing off of the awkwardness of this bishop, okay? The bishop's got to pull back like in the other line. Now, at least white's queen isn't in position to steal the d pawn, right? Black's d pawn. But he does it this way. He takes. Queen check. You block, right? Because your bishop's hanging, your rook's hanging on a8, folks. All right, you block. He takes, right? Now look at the knight now, huh? The knight's dangling in the wind. I don't know. It's aggressively posted, but now he's in trouble, folks. Now, yeah, you can protect it, all right? Don't get me wrong. It really has nowhere to run, though. Can't run anywhere at the moment. You can protect it, but, folks, do you want to play like this, right? Come on, folks. Even now, look, you go here. Maybe you just trade the power off the board, right? You want to trade that power off, so now the queens come off, the game slows down a little bit, right? The attack is not as strong without the queens. And now what is white? What is white up? He's up 2 pawns. Come on, he's still got those set of pawns too, right? White's got to just catch up in development. which I think he can. I think he can. So anyway, there you go. Losing, right, folks? Well, let's not be so fast. Let's look at this, folks, huh? Because you're going to fall off the seat. All right, watch this. After the takes, right? Take. Queen comes in, check. You block with the queen. You block with the queen, folks, not the bishop. Remember, we block with the bishop, we lose there, right? Okay, we block with the queen. We block with the queen. Holy cow, this guy's lost his mind. Look at this. I want a rook, everybody. I'm going to have an easy game. Come on, this is going to be easy street for me. Folks, did you see it? Queen to b5 check. Holy smokes, have the tides turned? Which way does he go, folks? He can't block that queen. He can't take the queen out in any way, right? He can't block on that white light diagonal. He's got to move the king. All right, if he moves here towards the center, oh boy, look at this. Castles, all right? Look at this now. If you try to hit the queen, for example, boom, boom, boom. Now look at this move, folks. Bishop to a6. With the double attack, look at this, folks. You got the rook on f8, attacking the white queen. If the queen moves, only square, takes a pawn. Oh, I got a pawn out of it. Who cares, right? Boom! You lose! The other attack, queen down, the diagonal, folks, to the e2 square, give it checkmate. Did you even see the light square battery, folks? Light square battery, the queen and the bishop on the light square battery. We saw this on game 2, right, folks? Game 2, dark square battery, folks. We saw Thompson with a dark square battery when the queen and bishop are on the same diagonal. Very dangerous tactics. Okay, you see, you can't answer it, folks. You can't answer this. That would be the game, okay? So no way can the king move to e1. He's got to run into the corner. He's got to run for shelter in the corner. Look at this, king to g1. Look at that stupid rook on h1 now, huh, folks? When's he going to get into the game, right? He's smothered in there. He can't get out. The king's blocking him up. They're all uncoordinated over there on the king side. All right, look at this now, folks. Okay, I know. You're screaming, right? Hey, he's got these wins a piece right here with check. Come on, you got to. Oh, okay, wait. No, here we go. What did I say? All right, there you go. Moves to G1, right? Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Now look at this, folks. Look at this. Shredder finds this move. Can you believe it? Queen to E2. Considers this the strongest move. I let the engine run. I can't believe it. Look at this move, folks. Now you're probably yelling at the screen, all right? Now you're probably yelling at the screen. Queen could take the bishop. Check. What's going on here? What are we doing? Oh, check. All right, you got the other one, right, folks? You got the other one. Pull it back. Block that check. The checks run out, folks. The checks stop coming. The checks stop coming, right? It gets very financially stressed when the checks stop coming, right? Holy smokes, he's got no more checks. All right, so what do you do, folks? Look at this. Look at black. Look at black. How does the queen run back to help the king, huh? How's she going to help out the handsome king? How's she going to help out the loving king, huh? She can't do it, folks. She can't do it. She's on the light squares. Black's queen is threatening mate on f2. Come on, wake up. Do you see it? All right, so you got the bishop. Protect f2, right? Did you see the back rank weakness? Back rank weakness check. Only move to block. Game over. Game over on the back rank. It's a mate, folks. Can you believe it? So there's more than one square that's being threatened, folks. There's two mating threats. You can't stop them both. No way, no can do. All right, so what does white do, folks? His back's against the wall. How quick have the tides have turned, huh, folks? The game of chess. He's only got one move left, folks. One move to keep him in the game. H3. Huh? H3, how about that, huh? If that's your last move, things are looking pretty dire, right? You're in dire straits. You're up the creek without a paddle, right? H3, the best it can do. Create an escape square for the king on H2, right? All right, here we go. We go into it. Boom. We hit him over, right? Boom, we hit him back. Boom, we hit him. The black queen and the white king dance, right? They do the dance. Boom. It's a draw, folks. Repetition. Look down on the board. Draw 3 rep. Draw 3 rep. It's a repetition. It's a perpetual check, we call it. Perpetual check. right? It's a draw, because this could go on to the ends of time, folks. It's a draw. So black pulls it out. Now, get this. Get a load of this, right? I'm sure you're like me, right? You love throwing the wood on the fire, right? You love throwing everything you got at your enemy. Boom, you got him. So what? So what? I'm down a rook, and so what? I'm down a bishop. I'm down material. But look at this attack. Let me throw more wood on the fire, right? Your castle, you say, all right, the hell with it. I'm going for the white king. I'm gonna take his head. I want his head. All right. Now look at this. The queen jumps back to help the king. Right? She's coming back to her handsome king. Come on, defend your honey. All right, look out. Now watch what happens, folks. You got to get your pieces in the game. You only got a few left, right? You got to get them all coordinated into the attack. So what's better than hitting the queen with F4, opening the F file for the rook? You got to swing that big gun into the game, into the attack, right? All right, but now get a load of this, okay? Pawn push, all right? And I'm playing shredder. What does it do? Okay, it takes, pawn takes pawn, en passant. En passant, it's French. Forgive me. Forgive my French, folks, okay? I'm not a linguist, all right? So what is it? I believe it means in passing. En passant, in passing. Very strange move. You see it once in a while. If you're a beginner, maybe you've never seen this before and you think I'm making this stuff up. All right, but look. What it is, as you know, a pawn could be pushed on its first move. A pawn could move 2 squares or 1 square, right? So let's say I push it 2. Now, there's a challenger right next to me, right? The white pawn on E5. I'm running by in passing, right? If I was only allowed, let's say if the rules were I'm only allowed 1 square per move for a pawn, even on the first one, I would have to move it there first, right? And he would have the option to take me. But in chess, you got the double move for the pawn, right? So the pawn comes up here. In passing, he's passing the challenger on E5. He's like a coward, folks. He's passing him, all right? In chess, we don't like cowards. Remember it, folks. So the rules are even structured to go against cowards. He's running by that challenger. Okay, all right, wise guy, I'm going to take you out anyway. That's how it works, folks. As if he moved only 1 square, all right? Because he's a coward. He ran by that challenger, the enemy pawn on E5. So he takes him out. Boom! Pawn takes pawn en passant. Pawn takes pawn in passing, right? Now, if you just the other little note, if you want to do this in passing capture, in passing, you have to do it right away. You can't move your queen. You can't move it, and then I move, and then you say, oh, let me do this in passing. Nope, you can't do it. See, folks? You got to do it right after that coward slips by, okay? Else you miss your chance to capture en passant. All right. So anyway, shredder captures en passant, right? It's the best move here. All right. All right. So anyway, rook takes. Now I got my rook, baby. I'm getting it into the attack. My idea now, let's just throw in a dumb move. I'm going to swing it to G6, right? Hitting the queen moves. Boom, it's checkmate on G2, right? Would be beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's see if I could get it, right? All right, watch Shredder now. A6, dumb move. No, I mean, A3, no way. Come on. Shredder didn't do that. All right, here it comes. Knight to D2, developing another piece. They're coming out, folks. He's trying to consolidate. I got to get him. I got to hit him, right? I got to do it while I have the time. All right, boom. Rook to G6, but, folks, he doesn't move the queen. He throws his rook to attack my queen. All right? And, folks, trust me when I say it. I fought and fought hard. I fought valiantly, right? I tried, folks. I tried for you. But there's just not enough, folks. The attack loses steam. And I go down in a burst of flames, all right? And the pieces come off, even say I take here, right? He takes here, I take, he takes, boom. What do I got left, folks, really? What do I got left? I'm down, like I said, I'm down that, now I'm down a knight and a rook, you know, a minor piece and a rook. Come on, he's going to consolidate. What do I have left, folks? A knight and a bishop? What am I going to checkmate him like this? Come on. Come on, folks, no way. Nothing left. Nothing left. All right? So the point is, all right, to all this, here we go. We're going to wrap it up, folks. I know it's long, but look, you go in, all right, whoop, you don't go in, you don't try to get the checkmate. You just go in with the perpetual. You got to know when you got enough. Sometimes it's hard to tell, folks, but you go in for the perpetual check. You get the draw. It's better than taking the loss, right? Your back's against the wall in many of these lines, folks. I'll tell you, your back's against the wall. You pull out the draw. It almost feels like you win. You know what I'm saying? Look, put it this way. Let's say you study with me. You get all your battle plans ready, your tactics, your combinations, your checkmates, right? You studied. You're ready to go. And you go into the tournament now to put it into practice, right? But let's say your rating's only 1350, 1400. You haven't proved it yet. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows what you got yet. And you're facing an 1800, right, folks? A 1900. And you hit him with this, folks. He's going to be kicking the table. He's going to be flipping he's going to, and he's going to swipe the pieces off the board. He's going to be cursing. He's going to be yelling in Russian, and he doesn't even know Russian. He's going to be cursing in Russian. He's going to be so mad at you. He's going to and you're going to steal the points, baby. You only share a half point each, right? But you're at 1350 or 1400, baby. You're going to pull this out of the bag, right? And there you go. You got some points. He's going to lose points. He's going to be kicking the chair, right? Okay. All right, enough of me, right? So you got to know when to go in, folks. You got to know when to go in for the draw if you got nothing more, right? That might have been a hard one to call. Very tempting. You get him down there, boom. You hit him, he goes there, the queen's vulnerable, right? A3, and you're like, H3, you're like, ooh, I think I got him, right? You give him a check. Now, right here at this moment, you're thinking about it. If I castle, maybe I could get him. But lo and behold, the steam runs out, okay? All right, that might be a tough one. Now, look, what does it all mean, folks? Look at this. Why did I bring all this up, okay? Why did I go into this, right? Think about it. Like I said in the book, folks, where am I? Hey, oh, yeah, Morphy, D6. And they say, folks, they put a question mark to Morphy, right? Incorrect, because white could have played D4, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. Bishop check, king over with the superior game. Again, I got to read it. All right, now look. This is what I find amazing. The old masters didn't have computers. They didn't have the Fritz and the Deep Blue and the Stockfish, right? They didn't have these computers. And their instincts, their experience, they're right, folks. They're actually right. Because if you think about this, in all these lines, look at all the shaky lines where black lost that bishop on B4, right? Look at the other variation. He's cramped. He's cramped, right? Or what if he goes in and takes that E4 pawn with the knight? Uh-oh, he's going to lose a piece, right? All right. So there's so many times, so many ways that black could lose. He does have the worst position. There's no winning chances, really, right? White's got the upper hand and everything. The only thing that keeps black in this game, and he's got to work hard to find it, folks. He's got to find that. Come on, folks, look at this. He's got to find this one. Queen to D7, giving up the rook, right? All right, fine. Okay. So he gets this. Look, what did I say before? The white position, right? When we looked at it, the awkwardness of that king. He's got a castle by hand, right? That's the only feature in this position that seems bad for white. And lo and behold, it's the only feature in this position that allows black to hang in there and get that perpetual check. Don't you see, folks? It's like a scale. And it's tilting in white's favor right here. It's tilting in white's favor. The old masters were correct. But lo and behold, that awkwardness of the white king position was just enough to tilt it back so black could hang in there and get the draw. Unbelievable stuff. I love this game, folks. I love this game. Incredible, right? Incredible. I find it incredible. I know I'm probably only talking to one or two of you left. A lot of you gave up, said this guy's nuts. He's going on forever about these silly pieces moving on a wooden board, right? I don't know, folks. To me, there's more to it, right? More to it than that. All right, fine. There's only one or two of you. Thanks for staying. Thanks for listening to me, right? And let me tell you, it's going to pay off, baby, because you're going to take these games that I'm going over. You're going to maybe be that kid who enters that tournament with the preliminary rating of 1,400. And you're going to blow away people, and you're going to draw, and you're going to blast away 2,000 ratings, 1950s. Get ready, folks. Get ready. I know I'm talking to someone out there. Maybe if it's only one kid, it's you. It's you, kiddo. You're going to take this, and you're going to go into war, into battle, right? And when they say, wow, how did you get so good? You're going to tell them, right, folks, please, do me some justice out there. Tell them Morphy's game's a chess with the chess cannonball. All right, baby, and I'll thank you later. Thanks a lot. All right, I know I might be talking to the one or two kids. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's keep going. All right, here we go. Bishop out. C3. D6 by Morphy, right? Incorrect, because it is, right? But that wasn't played. That wasn't played. What did Meek do? All right, I'll show you. He hit him with the other one, folks. B4. He hits him with the B pawn. All right. Morphy pedals back. He pedals the bishop back to B6. All right. Now Meek launches the A pawn. He's launching the A pawn, folks. Morphy's bishop. The king bishop's running out of room, folks. What's he going to do? All right. For instance, if he panics, let's dummy up. Come on, look, you just lost the bishop. Don't fall for this one, folks. Don't fall for it. Always watch that bishop over there. Don't fall into one of these cheapos. We call those cheapos, you understand? All right, here we go. What does Morphy do? Come on, he's hip. He knows this. He sees it. Boom. A6. Create a little escape square. Create that little escape square for the bishop. All right, now you're hitting Meek's bishop. How about that, huh? All right, so he pulls back his bishop to C4. Right, for instance, I'll show you. In case this A5 comes up, you see you got the A7 escape square, right? Okay, good enough. Good enough. All right. But now you're, like I said, you're hitting Meek's bishop. All right, so Meek pulls it back to C4, right? Maybe you should have put the bishop on C4 from the get-go like Thompson, huh? Instead of playing the Lopez. All right, but it doesn't matter. Let's get into it. All right, who knows? All right, here we go. What's the move now, folks? What's the move for Morphy? What does he do, huh? Get a load of this one. We talked about it before, folks, in round one. Bishop to E6, good move. Don't fear the doubling of the pawns, kids, like I said throughout round one. Look at this. Look at this. The pawn, he comes to E6. Now he's protecting the D5 square and the F5 square. Good move. More center control, folks. The center's where it's at. You control the center, you control the game, right? Okay, here we go. Meek, castles. Morphy follows suit with castles. Now, folks, listen to me. Listen. Listen. Hey, who's got the open F file for the rook, huh? Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Who's got the open F file for the rook? That's right, folks. Morphy does. Look at this rook now. The pawn, it's another advantage of the pawn moving to the center, controlling key squares. Whoops. Let me not get lost. Controlling key squares, D5 and F5, right? Now he's got the open F file for the rook too, because the pawn moved over. Great. This is where you're entering the middle game. You got to understand, folks. A little rule of thumb. It's the lines are blurred between opening and middle game. You understand? Okay. You never really know where, but when you start to get the open files for the rooks, folks, you want to open a file somewhere so the big guns can be influential in the game. All right. You want your rooks on the open files. Okay. Morphy's got that. He's got the F file open. Good strategy here. Here we go. All right, here we go. It's falling into place, right? All right, so now, Meek, you got to notice, folks, look at Morphy. We're talking about castles, having the open F file, right? Look at Morphy's pieces. The king knight on F6. The queen knight on C6. The king bishop on B6, right? Look at Meek. Look at Meek's pieces. Look at the queen side, folks. Hello. They haven't moved. They haven't even moved yet, folks, right? All right, so Meek's got to get some of those pieces in the game. He's got to catch up, right? Look at what Meek does. He throws the knight down. The one piece he has out, he throws it down, attacking the e6 pawn, huh? Because the e6 pawn's not defended in any way, right? Oh, boy, should Morphy resign? Look at this. All right, come on, let's get with it. Come on, we see it, right? Queen to e7, good move. All right, get that queen off the back rank. Link up them rooks. I said it before, folks. I'll yell it again, right? Link up them rooks. All right, so now here we go. Here we go. The queen protects e6. All right, that's fine and dandy now. Look at Meek. He gets his king off this diagonal of Morphy's king bishop, bearing down, right? Aiming at that enemy king. All right, so he moves his king over. Now look at Morphy. Morphy boots that knight. Get out of here, knight. Get out of here. All right, so what's Meek do, right? Does he swing it back here? Right? That's where it came from. In the center, controlling center squares, e5 and d4, influencing the center, right? No. Look at Meek. He throws it to h3, folks. h3. There's the saying that the knight on the rim is dim, huh? Remember game 3, folks. Game 3 against Thompson. Thompson had the queen knight on a3, right? Knight on the rim is dim. And what did Morphy do, folks? He built up his advantage. That was his one advantage, the awkwardly placed knight of Thompson, huh? And he slowly built his game off of that, and he maneuvered, and he got the win, right? All because of that one piece that was awkwardly placed. All right, so here's Meek now. Meek's got his knight on h3, okay? Similar theme, all right? Similar theme. Let's see how Morphy handles it. All right, now look. It's the knight went back. Okay, so it's Morphy's move, all right? He strikes in the center with d5. Common move, as we said earlier in the other round. King-pawn game, Black's trying to play d5. If he could get it in safely, he equalizes, right? Well, folks, this game, Black equalized long ago. Come on, remember the bishop c5 lecture, right? I think clearly Black has equalized, all right? White's got no advantage at all in this game. He doesn't even have his pieces out. Makes sense. Morphy wants to rip open lines now in the center before Meek could get his army out, right? He's got to jump him before he could get off the floor, right? He's got to beat him up. All right, here we go. Now, with this pawn move, okay, Meek plays a good move, a strong move. With this pawn push, it opens up this diagonal, and Meek takes advantage of it tactically by developing the bishop to a3. Good move, threatening a devastating tactic, okay? What's he do? Let's say you're oblivious to it, right? b5, folks. Did you see it? Opening up the diagonal, attacking the black queen. The queen moves. Look at this. The pawn, folks. You win a piece. Look at that. White wins a piece. Okay? Devastating move. All right. All right. So you see the threat. Morphy's hip. He's got the sharp eye. Come on. He can see it from a mile away. All right. So I got to move that king move back. Okay. Here we go. He sees b5 coming. Boom. He moves the knight. All right. Knight on the rim, right? Knight on the back rank. Not many squares, not many options to go to. All right, those rooks, they're not linked up anymore. The knight's in the way. Okay, all right. Anyway, he's got to get out of that tactic, right, folks? He's got to protect himself. All right, so here we go. Look at this. Meek pushes the pawn anyway, hitting the queen. Now, if you see it, folks, the queen moves. Boom! Meek wins the exchange, huh? It's even deeper than we thought. Than we explained, right? Strong move by Meek, but get a load, folks. Get a load of this. Don't panic now. Don't panic. It's easy to miss, right? Oh, no, what are we going to do? All right. Bishop to c5. Simple enough, right? Blocking that bishop. Blocked. Denied. Okay, we got it under control. Morphy's got it under the control. All right, now, here we go, folks. Here we go. Why did Meek move his king to h1? Right? To get off that diagonal. Why did he move the knight to h3 when he retreated after Morphy's h6, right? Why did he move to h3 opposed to f3? All right, to stay off the f-file. Because the move now, folks, for White, Shredder played it against me, all right? We went into battle because I couldn't understand. Meek should have played f4! He should have played this move. He set up his pieces to do it. I don't understand. King over to H1. The knight retreated to H3, opposed to F3 wide to not block the F-pawn, to launch the F-pawn. Come on, launch the F-bomb. Influence that center. Come on, open lines for your own pieces. Don't get it, folks. What does Meek do? Oh. What does Meek do? He retreats the bishop to B2. He retreats, folks. I just don't get it. I don't get it. All right. Let's take it from here. What does Morphy do with the D5 pawn? He rips open lines. Come on, rip open them lines. Get those big guns in the game. He's going to try to swing his rooks into the game. All right. Now, if Meek takes, for instance, right? This didn't happen, but if Meek takes, you take with the knight. You won the pawn. You're hitting the F2 pawn with the knight, the bishop on C5, the rook on F8. The whole family's getting into the attack. You see, folks? All right. You could do something like this. Boot the knight. Now the knight comes here, right? Attacking the B5 square, threatening to win a pawn. You can't lend support with your C pawn because, boom, you just lose it, right? Now, again, we mentioned it before. What if white takes here to get rid of that B pawn? Right? Look at it. Look at this. He saddles himself with two isolated pawns on the queen side. No good. Those pawns like to be side by side. Link them up like a chain, right? Protect the brother next to you. Those two pawns are lonely on the chessboard, folks. The A4 pawn. No pawn, brother pawn on B file to help him out. Look at this C3 pawn. No brothers on the D file or the B file to help him out. All right, the targets, folks, the targets for black. Now get a load of this. Very important to mention. The knight comes back, right? Okay, let's say he moves here, and then you take your pawn. He takes back. All right, the rook's hanging the A8 rook. You got to trade rooks first before you grab the B pawn. All right, so let's say the queen takes. Now you grab your B pawn, right? So now you're up 2 pawns, right, folks? Not so simple. Look at this. The knight swings into E4, right? An E4 outpost. Look at this outpost, folks. It's a square that black, right? Black cannot boot that knight out. He can't boot him away. There's no pawn on the F file. There's no pawn on the D file for black. He can't boot that knight. He can't push the pawn up to chase the knight away. That knight is cemented in, and the white F3 pawn anchors him in. That's called an outpost, folks. This is positional chess, all right? Positional chess. The knight is cemented in. Very good. Now, look, just to explain it, let's say if black tries something, what the whole strategy to this whole game now can be, white fortifies that square. You fortify that square in the center, a good outpost. Now the other knight backs him up. For instance, if I go here and I want to get rid, now I didn't really analyze the tactics in this. I don't know what's really going on, but let's just say, right? Let's just say if I bring, then he brings this guy. Look, if I try to take that one, he takes him back, right? So that doesn't really do anything. And then he brings the knight back to E4. I mean, if I try to do something like this, you know, he just takes with the other one, see? And he tries to keep a piece that could always occupy that E4 square. This is the strategy. This is positional chess, folks. Even though he's down 2 pawns, right? He's got positional play. He's got a good outpost on E4. And that could be all the difference, even though he's down material. The game of chess, folks, material isn't everything, all right? It's very important to realize this. Positional chess, very important. You could sometimes give up a pawn or two to get something like this. A strong outpost makes all the difference. All right, now look, again, Morphy's got 2 extra pawns, but look at the 2 extra pawns on the E file. They're not strong at all. They're isolated double pawns, you see? So it's still a game, all right? I stumbled into this. I wanted to show you. It's very instructive. It's very important to remember positional ideas too, all right? By Morphy's time, they were more of the tactics and the aggressive gambits, and, you know, the positional chess was still in its infancy, okay? Sometimes they had things going on, but really I don't think it was as developed, you know? And that came a little later. You had Steinitz, Lasker, Capablanca, you know, Alekin. They brought it forth, okay? That's when it started to really develop. You see a whole other angle to chess. You know what I mean? Beautiful stuff. I told you this game is deep, folks. It's deep. All right? But realize that you got to have those tactics. You got to have the tactics prepared, folks. You got to be strong tactically. Because if you don't have that, doesn't matter how much positional chess you know, you're just going to hang pieces. You're going to fall to the knight fork, the queen fork. You're gonna get skewered and pinned all over the place. All right? You're going to get checkmated. All right. Anyway, here we go. So let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Very interesting to realize. Okay. So anyway, the knight goes back. Oh, yes. Okay. I was wondering, where were we? All right. The F4 wasn't played. Bishop to B2. Then Morphy takes, right? Meek doesn't take back. That whole little lecture there was on Meek taking back. Here we go. What does Meek do? He pushes the pawn to D4. All right, here we go. They trade the pawns. Boom, boom. Hitting the bishop. Morphy pulls it back to this diagonal now. The H2, B8 diagonal. All right? He's got a new home on this diagonal. Very strong. All right, good scope for this bishop now. Look, still keeping the knight out, huh? The e-pawn's gone, but now the bishop takes up the role of covering that F4 square. Still can't get that knight in the game, Meek. All right, here we go. So now Meek develops a piece. All right, makes sense, right? He's got to get the soldiers into battle. All right, here comes Morphy. He takes the pawn. All right, now here Meek takes back with his pawn, okay? But now look, again, another little note, positional stuff, too, to point out here. If the knight takes, look, the knight comes back to the center. No problemo, right? And let's say if white takes here, now those double E-pawns, right? Boom, you take back with your pawn. Now those double E-pawns, those pawns on the E-file could get a little support with this D-pawn. All right, now look, let's say the knight could come here now, right? You do it right away. You just lost the exchange. So again, the tactics, folks. Remember the tactics, all right? So here we go. So maybe you don't want to do that. Let's just say, for argument's sake, right? You bring the knight in. Let's say that the knight just takes, all right? I didn't really look at all the lines, the opportunities for white, all right? But let's just say they take. I want to point out something. Black takes back. And look at this now, folks. You don't have this one because you got the D6 pawn still, all right? So you don't win the exchange. But now I want to point this out. Look at that bishop on B2 for white. That's considered a bad bishop. Folks, that's a bad bishop. He's a bad boy. All right? Look, the bishop on B2, his own pawn blocks his scope. He wants to aim down at the enemy king, but he's blocked by his own pawn. If the bishop is blocked by his own center pawns, he's considered a bad bishop, okay? Another strategic point, okay? Now watch this. Look, just look at this. If let's say white develops, you're going to swing this knight, okay, into C4. Forget about it, folks. Forget about it. Look at this. Boom, you swing the knight to C4. What did I say, A4? I don't know. You swing the knight to C4. This is what I'm saying again. An outpost for that knight, folks. An outpost for the piece. There's no enemy pawns. No white pawns on the B file. No white pawns on the D file. Folks, this white D pawn cannot go back. There is a pawn on the D file, but he can't go back to D3. Pawns can't go backwards. Remember? We got to remember them rules, folks. So what I'm saying makes no difference, right? All right. So this knight on C4, this knight is outshining the bishop on B2. Come on, this is the war between the minor pieces. Forget about it. This knight's outshining that bishop for sure. Any day of the week. I mean, that knight on C4 is considered as strong as a rook. When you got a knight on an outpost on the 4th rank in the enemy position, the knight's as strong as a rook, all right? So, really, in this position, who knows? Maybe he'd even sack He'd even sack a rook for it, and he'd win a pawn, too, with a check, huh? You see what I'm saying? So then maybe after the king moves or something, right? Then he pushed this to open up the scope of that bishop. Very important. Very important. So now, at least he gave up the exchange and he won a pawn, all right? So you would say, oh, he gave up material, though. He's losing. Black has 2 rooks. But look at that bishop now. The bishop has come to life on the long diagonal. We're aiming at the black king, right? Aiming at the black king. What are you going to do, folks? You're going to set up a battery, right, folks? Set up that dark square battery. These ideas are just coming to me right off the bat. You know, I didn't really analyze it. Maybe black's still winning, but the point is that the dark square bishop can't take that knight on c4. He can't take him out. So if white wants to get rid of it, he's got to sack the exchange, you know? He's got to give up a rook. All right. Interesting, right? Interesting stuff. There's another key point. Remember, the bad bishop, folks, and the war between the minor pieces. Who has the better minor piece? All right, this all stems from if knight takes, right? And it's not all forced. Don't get me wrong, you know? Don't get me wrong. So anyway, you know, I'm just showing what could, you know, some ideas to keep in mind when you're playing your game. All right, so here, Meek takes with the pawn, though, right? Sensible move, right? We got Meek's knight on the rim. That's dim. Here, this pawn restrains Morphy's knight from coming back to the natural square, c6, controlling the center squares, right? All right, 2 could play at this game, Meek says, all right? So what does Morphy do? He repositions the knight over to its only square over there, f7, right? Linking them rooks back up. Now look at this, folks. If Meek went in, hypothetical, if Meek went in, taking rooks, right? He exchanged the rooks on the contested file. They're both fighting for that A pawn, right? Look at this. Morphy takes back, and now who controls the A file? Morphy's rook, right? All right, watch this. Watch this now. Meek, at this stage, he didn't take over here. Come on. He didn't take. All right? He develops the queen off the back rank. Come on, develop the pieces. What is it? Move 21, and you finally develop that queen, getting it off the back rank. Look at this. Linking up them rooks. Now, if Morphy was to take, right, on the contested A file, look at this. Meek would take back, and now who controls the open A file? Meek. So when 2 rooks are challenging for that open file, don't be so quick to trade, because you might be just turning over total control of that file to your enemy, all right? Just wanted to show you that. All right, so now with this move, Meek also is going after the e4 pawn, right? Oh, no, help me. He's got the queen and the knight on it. So Morphy swings his queen to d7, right? Doesn't seem to help out that pawn. So Meek goes in. They trade, boom. Now Morphy wins the B pawn, all right? So now he's got, folks, if you haven't noticed, he's got a passed B pawn now, all right? All right, it's an ace up the sleeve, all right. Now Meek would like to win his pawn back, okay, because he's down a pawn, but then he would hang the bishop. Right? He can't do it yet, folks. He can't do it. Now, if he tries to get complicated where he takes the rook and you take the bishop, then he swings in and takes this guy with check, right? You take back, and lo and behold, you lost the piece, huh? All right, but watch this. The hand's quicker than the eye because I'm trying to throw it at you fast, so maybe you don't notice it. But if he takes here with this one, you lose this one, folks. Did you see it? Queen takes. All right, Lucky's got that knight over there to block. All right, it was check move, and now you take back. Now, you didn't just win the exchange, folks. You're up a whole rook. You just won a whole rook. All right, just to show the tactics, the mistakes that could occur. All right, so the bishop on b2 is hanging. Meek doesn't trade rooks in any way. He just goes in, puts this guy over here to protect him, right? All right, so now Morphy's pawn is hanging on e6. So he swings the queen to d5, right? Challenging the queen over there. What are you going to do? Let's exchange. Let's say Meek exchanges. Oh, boy. Big mistake, folks, like we just said. You cement that d4 pawn. Bad bishop again. Bad bishop. Look, he can't even go here now. He's going to have to reposition it maybe. I mean, that's ugly. A knight on the rim that's dim for Meek. and a bad bishop. Very bad position for. He's throwing away the game. So no way would Meek trade there. He knows enough not to trade. He repositions the queen to G4. All right, I guess he figures the knight on the rim. I gotta get him in this game. So the queen is supporting the knight coming from to F4. Right? Okay, here we go. Here's what Morphy. Let's just show you too, real quick. Let's say if he plays here, they trade, right? You trade here. Now, the bishop's scope is enhanced, but look, you're contesting the diagonal for the bishop. Let's say if white trades, right? Knight takes. All right, you're hitting the queen. You got a tempo on the white queen, but let's just ignore the tactics. Let's just look at the positional advantages again, right? So now you had the stronger bishop, right? You had the stronger bishop. He had a bad bishop. But now you trade that advantage off for an even stronger advantage. Now you got the double pass queenside pawns, baby. Remember game 2, the connected pawns on the queen side, folks. Very dynamic. They're going to march down the board, holding hands. All right, so you give up one advantage to get an even stronger one. Maybe Morphy could have went that way, but I'll show you what he does. He throws the tactics up. Rook lift to rook. Move the pawn back on E6. Okay. He swings his rook up to A4, attacking D4 pawn, and he's threatening this, folks. Look at this. Let's just throw in a silly move. He's threatening this. Now, if he takes, boom, you lose your queen. You got to keep your eyes open, folks, at all times. Every move of the game. You can't fall asleep, all right? One little quick, careless move, and you blow it, all right? So simple enough. You see that? He's pinning the pawn, folks. He's pinning the pawn to the queen, all right? So that's the threat. He wants to push his E-pawn up, perhaps trade it, okay? Maybe win the D-pawn, okay? Now, this is, I'm just throwing this in to show you the threat, right? So the king move is not played. Meek doesn't do that, okay? What's recommended by the old masters in the book, folks, okay? They recommend this move. F4, all right? Here's that move again, F4. Now this F4 move covers E5, all right? With the D4 pawn and the F4 pawn, they control E5 square, making it very difficult for Morphy to push this now, okay? That pawn is Morphy's weak pawn. It's an isolated weak pawn, and now it's even weaker because you want to hold. Morphy would like to trade it, right? But now he can't. So what he's going to do, what Meek's strategy would be, is, for instance, to say, let me just throw the king back and forth. We'll give moves for white. I'll just shuffle my king back and forth. Look, he wants to cement that pawn, control that E5 square, right? And then you throw the rook on the open file, bearing down on it. Once you control that square, you keep them in place. You keep that pawn in place. Behave yourself, all right? You're going to stay right there until I say so. And then they put all your pieces bearing down on E5 to keep that weak pawn back. And then hopefully you could win it. You see, there was still a lot of fight in this game. All right, that was a good idea. The old masters point out F4 being the move, okay? That's the idea. All right, you keep that pawn cemented in place, and you try to win it. All right, now look. This is what Shredder played. Shredder went right after the pawn, right off the bat. Rook, the F-rook to E1. Now the queen and the rook are bearing right down on that weak E6 pawn of Morphy, okay? Who knows? Maybe the knight comes back, but again, very passive. Now you're just defending. The knight's on the back rank, you know. You're not really attacking the enemy in any way. All right, so there you go. Another idea. Maybe it was still a fight. This is what white had, okay? All right, so what does Meek do, though? We got to go over the game itself, right? What did Meek do? All right, folks, here you go. Like I said, queen supports the F4 square. He finally figures, let me get this knight in the game. I'll get it in the game with tempo. I'm attacking that black queen. Plus, I'm attacking that weak E6 pawn, right? Looks like a good move. Let's do it. This kid Morphy, I got to put pressure. He'd eat me alive. Let's put some pressure on this kid, see what he does. All right, folks. On the surface, it looks like a good move, right? All right, but it's a losing move. All right, and here Morphy capitalized on the mistake. Where do you think he goes, folks? I'll give you a second. Do you see the move that Morphy makes? All right, I'll give it to you, folks. Queen to E4, pinning that knight. The knights are gone, and folks, look, if he moves, you lose the queen. Simple enough, huh? Sometimes you miss the simple moves. Unbelievable, right? All right. So now the knight, you can't defend it in any way. There's no pawn support. The G pawn can't move up to G3. It's pinned to the white king. You see that? By the king. The pawn's pinned. It can't move. All right, no luck there. No pawn support. The rook's physically impossible. Can't protect that knight. The only piece that can help out is the bishop. So here it goes. Meek throws the bishop to C1. All right, protecting the knight. All right, so here we go, folks. Look at this. Now, the book, I got to point out, the old masters, right? They point out, here's one line that wins for, Morphy didn't go in for this, but they brought it up. Morphy could have taken, rook takes B1, right? But now just watch the complications that ensue. Look at this. All right. Knight takes that weak E6 pawn. And now Meek's threatening. This didn't happen, but White's threatening G7. Mate on G7. Holy smokes. And you start to wonder, what do I do? What do I do? Right? Okay, don't panic. Here's the move. You block that queen out with your own knight. Now, Shredder, I'm fighting Shredder with this. I want to see the what it could lead to. Does White have anything? All right, he goes in, he takes the rook. This is what he feels is the best. He gets his rook back, right? Okay, so it's all material even now, right? Material is totally equal. But look at this, the position of the pieces aren't. Look at this, rook comes down to A1. Look at that back rank for Meek. Very dangerous. Like, look. Let's say the knight comes out, gets the safety. Look, I could just take and win it. Look at this, I got the back rank made again, huh? The back rank is weak for Meek. Very dangerous, even at this point. If I take here, oh wait, he's gonna. If you try to protect the rook, it's no use, folks. You still got the back rank loss. All right, here we go. Look, okay. So the knight doesn't move, right? What does he do, folks? Let's say. He swings his queen. He tried swinging the queen back to protect at least not to lose the piece. All right, so now we just simply grab this one, right? We grab this one. Now we're up a piece. All right, fine enough. What's his best move, folks? This is what he throws at me, H4. He goes after my knight. Now I could try to move the knight and this and that, right? But get a load of this now. Now let's see. What was the move? Okay, yes. If I go here, right? I go here with the bishop, okay? Now he takes this guy, right? Now you got to watch. Again, mistakes that could happen, tactical mistakes. Oh, he took my, look at this. All right, so now we're going to trade, and I'll end up with a bishop if the math is right? You go here, he takes, you go here, he takes, you go here, boom. Like I said, I got the bishop. All right, I win, right? Not so fast, not so fast. This is why I say the tactics. This is what we got to sharpen our eyes, folks. Look at everything that can happen the minute you take here. You move the queen off the light square, right? Giving White this in between check. Holy smokes, he moves over. Now you get the queen for the rook, right? Boom, boom. All right, it's check. So the king moves up here, right? All right, you got to check over here. Ooh, it looks pretty good. Here comes the king, right? Now you move this guy up. Holy smokes, it's going to be mate on H1. What could White do? What could he do? The queen can't come back to stop in any way, can he? There's no checks, right? Holy smokes, I'm going to win. Look, folks, G3. He's in the game. He's in the game, folks. It's queen against rook and bishop. Material's pretty even. I don't know. It's a fight. If anything, it may even be better for White. So anyway, look, we don't even have to know who's better here because you just blew it, right? Black has way better. Here's what you do. After the bishop, after you take there, right? After he takes, you don't take the bishop. You pull the queen simply back to B5. You're hitting that rook. You're hitting the rook on F1. Now watch this. Watch this. He takes here. This is his best, right? All right, boom. We hit him with that. He takes back. We take back with the rook check. The king comes up. I take here, right? Shredder takes. He doesn't want to just lose the pawn. He takes. All right, so we traded pawns. Now look at this, folks. Look at this. Unbelievable, right? He attacked. He attacked my pawn, right? Now let's just analyze again. I should mention what just happened, right? All right, we traded all the way down. I'm up the exchange. The rook against the bishop in an endgame, and I have a passed B pawn. Come on, folks. Look, he wants to take. Look, all right, go ahead. Take my pawn. Look at this, folks. Watch this. If he takes that pawn, he's going after it, right? You launched the B pawn. Can you believe this? Look at this, folks. Unbelievable stuff. The game of chess. I love this game. Who says the endgame's boring? Look, the pawn has. Let me just make a silly move. The pawn is going to come 4 moves to a touchdown, right? 4 moves to get that queen. In the process, you're only passing 2 dark squares. Those are the only 2 dark squares that this dark square bishop can stop, right? Now, can he stop? Let's put the king back. All right, it's white's move. Can the bishop stop the pawn going to b4 from here? Obviously not, right? Can the bishop stop the pawn from going to b4 from here? Obviously not, right? All right, we see it, folks. We see it. So let's say he moves the bishop. I don't know. Let's say he moves it here. I think that's what Shredder tried. All right, b4 is played. Here he comes. He comes here. Oh, look at he's running. He's running. He pushes the pawn to cover b2. Big deal. Now he takes, and now I got a lone rook. Game over. Forget about it. Come on, folks. It's all over. So, look. You traded down, okay? You got out of it, but let me just put it to you this way, right? There's another move. Well, let's go over the other one that's interesting too. Very cute. Very cute. Look, he takes there, right? You bring the rook down. Here's the other move that white could try. Instead of what was the move here? What did he do? I swung the rook down. All right, he tries to defend with the queen, right? Let's say he tries this one. Look at this. He pushes the pawn up, creating an escape square for the king, right? The G2, all those back rank mate threats, all right? He's making an escape square for the queen. For the king on G2. All right. So now I move my queen to B5, attacking the F1 rook. I'm threatening to take in its mate, right? All right. So what does he do, folks? What does he do? He comes out. He moves over here, right? For instance, if he moves this guy over that way, look at this. I check, right? I check. Even if he wants to try to block, I take here, check, right? Now look, what's he going to do? If he goes here, folks, if he goes there, guess what? Check, right? And guess what? You see it, right? He's going to lose the exchange, right? He's going to lose his rook. No! He could lose the rook, but he's going to lose his queen. Look at this, folks. He loses a queen. All right, you're aware, right? And even on this one, look, he takes with check. Look, if he goes to the other squares, right? If he goes here, if he goes there, folks, doesn't matter. Look at this. You just you pull back with check this way, right? Or do you? Wait, he could block, huh? He could block. All right, even so, folks, you take this guy, right? And where's that knight going? The knight, okay, he could come here, he could get out of there. Gets out of dodge, but you're up a piece. All right. Sometimes, let me just make sure that if I check, I thought I won the queen for sure. If he goes there, because I can't do it. I can't check from there. I can't double check, ooh, double check, right? Man, king over king. Oh, wow. Here we go, folks. Here it is. Double check, right? I found this on the fly. Let's see how it works out. Look, the king, right? Let's say, if he goes here, right? This is what I was looking at. Check. He has to take. Check. He can't go anywhere. He's got to block. Let's see. Check. Right. He can only go. He wants to protect that queen. He goes there. Check. He takes. He's got to abandon the queen, right? He's got to abandon the queen, and I win the queen that way. And his bishop's still pinned, right? All right, maybe he goes like this. Folks, I'm getting into it. I'm finding it on the fly, right? I'm finding it right here. I'm doing it on the cuff, off the cuff, as they say. I mean, if he goes there, if he goes here, maybe, you know, what's going on? I don't even know. If he goes on here, you check. There it goes up. Yeah, I'm finding it on the fly. So, I mean, I don't know. Either way, folks, we're winning. You know what it is? Sometimes, there's that saying, sometimes the hardest game to win is a one game. You got so many chances, you're not sure which line to take because White's position is so busted. You know what I mean? Basically, look, even if you want to go in there, and if he comes up, look, if he comes up, you take with check, right? You take it with check. What am I talking about? See what I'm saying? All right, you find the obvious. If he goes over here, you still take with check, whatever. Okay, you take with check. The game is over. Actually, if he goes there, the game's over because now you take there, right? And if he moves, it's over. It's mate, right? He'd have to block. I mean, obviously, look, now you're just doing stuff like this, right? You're trading him off. Now, look, the rook is still pinned. The bishop is still pinned with the rook, right? He's going to lose that guy. Oh, forget. Come on, man. What are we talking about? This is over. It's all over. Let me show you what I did find, okay? All right, on this, the king comes over. I played this with Shredder. He finds this the strongest move, right? Okay. Then you go here, and you're attacking this to win the bishop. For instance, if this guy tries to come off the board or whatever, you just take here. He takes, I take, right? He comes up. You know, really, folks, it's over. It's over. He's down a piece. He's down a piece. I could come over here and check maybe. You know what I'm saying? It's all over. Do we have to really look any further? All right. Now, here's the point to all this nonsense, right? Here's what I'm getting at with all these lines. And forgive me if I missed a little stronger move here or there. You know, don't get me wrong. Black is winning, all right? He's in the driver's seat. He's in the driver's seat by this point. You take the rook down here, right? The knight comes down. All right, you block. Okay, and now it opens up a lot of things going on, okay? You win in different ways. All right, but now here's the point. This is what Morphy does, right? Block. You don't go in for the rook, right? He just takes here. He takes here. Plain and simple, you win the piece, right? Now, if he takes with the queen, all right, now you grab the rook with that knight off the board, and there's none of the complications. Knight takes e6, threatening mate on g7, blah, 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 blah. Right? This is over, folks. All over. The game's over. All right? You want a rook outright now. You're up a whole rook. All right. So what Meek does is he takes back with the bishop. Folks, you know, Morphy just takes the pawn, right? Now he's bearing down on that pinned bishop. He's going to win it. There's nothing that could save it. No one could help him out. All right, so the queen gets out of the pin, right? What do you think? Morphy's going to forget that he could win it? All right, so he takes it. I guess Meek was just thinking, oh, maybe I'll get this pawn. Maybe I'll win this pawn. But then he realizes, look, he's up against this dynamic chess player, poor Morphy. He watched him destroy. He blew Thompson off the board. He probably knows, look, the kid's up a whole piece. He's got the two connected queenside pass pawns. All right, so maybe he wins one of them, whatever, right? Look at this. He goes here, right? Boom, I could just hit him like that. I could hit him like that. What are you talking about? Look, you get the mate. Come on, folks. Okay. All right, so anyway, you know, Meek figured, why suffer, right? Let me just wrap it up. Tilts the king. Game 1 of round 2 goes to Morphy, all right? Meek figures, all right, I'll try to come back in game 2, right, of round 2. All right, so there you go, folks. There you have it. Got a streak going, baby. What does this mean? This calls for some streak music. All right, hit it, my brother the maestro, once again. Gonna take us on out. Come on, tap them feet. Clap them hands. How long can Morphy keep it going, folks? You're gonna have to stay tuned. Another exciting episode of Morphy's Games of Chess awaits. I'm your chess cannonball, bringing it to you. Come on, you gotta stay with us. Can Morphy keep the streak going, baby?